I'm Matteo Turilli. I work at the University of Oxford at the Oxford Research Center. I'm a research associate there, and 18 months ago I was asked to chair the task force for the Federation of Clouds that EGI had promoted at that time. Okay? So the idea was EGI just observe a constant shift towards cloud resources within multiple resource providers. So this meant that some knowledge was developed locally, and EGI wanted to capitalize on this knowledge and to create a task force that was organizing this effort, basically. So that was the initial idea. There were two main deliverables. The first one was a test bed of a federation, actually, so a sort of prototype, if you like, to illustrate the possibility, the capabilities of such a federation, and also to understand honestly at that time what it meant to federate multiple local cloud installations. And then a second one was a blueprint document as a sort of profile for a federation. Okay? So that was 18 months ago. So the first thing that we decided to do was to split the 18 months in 3 stints of 6 months each, and having at the end of each 6 months a kind of demo, a presentation about what we achieved in those 6 months. So this gave us a nice pace to progress within the task force. The second one was basically being staggered by the size of the problem that we were facing. So we decided to split the activities into work groups and assign a specific pool of capabilities to each work group so that they could independently work on it. And then finally the last bit was to basically have a fairly stable and constant pace in operations. And so we met every week, once a week, 1 hour in teleconference, with an average between 20-25 participants at that time, to discuss all the progression, basically, to make the point. At the moment, basically, the first mandate is over, so the 18 months have been done with this meeting. We showed a demo of a fully functional prototype of Cloud Federation across multiple resource providers, but what is even more important actually, across different types of cloud resources, so OpenStack, OpenNebula, Stratus Lab, but also the one less known sometimes, that is WNodes, Okeanos. Okay, so we basically showed that through standard-based interfaces we are able practically to achieve interoperability across all these different type of cloud platforms. So that's what we showed here. Obviously, part of the deal was to integrate this test bed within the existing EGI infrastructure. So the cloud activities are not replacing the grid activities, they are simply going to step alongside them. It's basically another type of resource or service that EGI infrastructure will offer to its users. Okay? So obviously part of our mandate was to design something that was not replacing the existing EGI infrastructure, but was actually integrated within it. So our test bed leverages common central services already deployed within EGI, like monitoring, information system, accounting, and so on. So that's what we achieved now, right? We have a common client, a command line base that a user can use and instantiates VM across all the resource providers. That's what we have done. We have the same thing, always standard-based for data. Simple set of capabilities in that case. They can move payload across whatever they like, across their VMs, their workstation, and so on. So this is covered. So in the next 6 months, what we will look at is a pre-production stage of this test bed, right? So to do so, we have to tackle some of the most complicated capabilities in terms of cloud offering. The main one, if you like, is contextualization. So the capability for the users to have VMs that auto-configure depending on some parameters that they pass at the session time. But also, the possibility to, in this way, to tackle more complicated use cases that are typical of our use base that are researchers, right? So we do all this to promote research, high scale, large scale. So that's obviously is something that depends crucially on contextualization. And then we have to better what we have already, basically. So a big element of our test bed is image management. There is an entire subsystem as a back end, a front end, and we need to basically make it work better for the user. And finally, we have to have a test bed that is pre-production grade. We have to fix the implementation, the current implementations of the standard-based interfaces, basically, a sort of refactoring and the production of a reference implementation, if you like. So that's what we aim to do in the next 6 months, and present another demo with all these capabilities implemented at the technical forum in September.